It's a big clash. It's a Community Shield. Manchester City against Liverpool, or Erling Haaland against Darwin Nunez. Thor versus Loki, as I saw yesterday on social media. Stevie, who you think is gonna have a better season? It's too early to say, but who do you think? Which are your predictions about these two super strikers?
I would probably say that there's more pressure on Haaland to deliver than Nunez. I think because they're playing for Man City and Liverpool, then they're both under a certain amount of pressure to score anyway. But I think the spotlight, no question, has been more on Haaland. If he doesn't score, it's going to be, why hadn't he scored today? Regardless of whether it's a league game, a cup game, a Champions League game. Whereas I think Nunez is going to be given a little bit more time. We're not exactly certain that Nunez is going to be the starting number 9 for Liverpool. But there's no question in anybody's mind that Haaland is going to be starting for Manchester City come the first game of the season. And again, the comparison with the two of them in this game, we might see a situation where they're both not on the field at the same time. In past years, certainly in my era, this was an opportunity for both sides to play their best team a week before the season started. That has completely gone out the window. And judging by what's happened pre-season with both these sides, we can expect not the first team, probably half a side, and then a lot of chopping and changing. So what do we expect from the game? It'll be competitive because of the two sides, but don't expect to see the first teams, and don't expect to see Nunez and Haaland on the field at the same time, in my opinion.
Do you think that then I would expect Haaland to be in the starting lineup for Manchester City, but do you expect Darwin Nunez waiting on the bench alongside Jurgen Klopp?
Well, personally, I would start him. I would have him as my starting number 9. But we're not quite sure how Klopp sees him yet. Does Klopp think that he's ready to play in the system that Liverpool play? Clearly, it's completely different from the one he's come from. And of course, we don't know what Klopp thinks about Firmino's pre-season. Klopp's going to look at the first game of the season as, right, what team's going to win this? He's not going to look at it like probably we do and think, okay, you go and spend that amount of money on Nunez, then you got to play him. I don't think he thinks like that. He thinks, okay, is he ready? Is it the best thing for Nunez? Is it the best thing for the team, which is probably his first question? And maybe even before that, which 11 wins this game?
Speaking about the game, what kind of game do you expect? You already gave us a hint in one of your answers, but do you expect a goal feast as it was the FA Cup semi-final from last season, or do you expect a more slow tempo game, a more tactical game as it was a Community Shield in 2019 when they got a draw 1-1 and they went to a penalty shootout?
I expect both sides to try and play the way they play at their best. But I think because of pre-season, probably the last game we saw with the two of them in this game, it wasn't the greatest because they weren't quite up to speed. I don't think the intention to play their best wasn't there the last time. And I think the intention will still be with both sides to play to their best in this upcoming game. The fact that it's pre-season, the fact that they're not quite up to speed, probably physically, will suggest that it may not be a classic. But I certainly expect both sides to try and attack. As far as the scoreline, I guess it'll depend on what sort of shape both defences are in. In pre-season, both sides have lost some goals that you probably wouldn't expect. Liverpool losing 4 goals to Man United in pre-season certainly wasn't expected. So it'll depend. It'll depend on what sort of physical shape both sides are in, defensively in particular. That'll depend on the amount of goals we see. But as far as the game, both sides will try and go forward, no question.
This is just the first official game of the season. It's just the Community Shield. But do you think that being a game between these two giants, the two teams that dominated English soccer over the last 4 or 5 years, makes the competition more interesting for the spectator? And what are you excited to watch on Saturday?
Well, I think the game now is, there's no question there'll be an edge to it, because these are the two sides that want to beat each other. You know, both sides look at each other and say, right, if we finish ahead of this team, we're probably going to win the Premier League. So that means there will be an edge to the game. So I'm expecting a good attacking game, no question.
And your prediction? Who do you think? Which team do you think it has the edge over their opposition?
I think right now it's very difficult to say if anybody's got an edge. I'm going to go flat bang draw.
Oh.
Hopefully 2-2, something like that, with some goals, and it goes to penalties. Penalties is always fun when it doesn't really matter.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.